A lot of people say they want to stand out, but they move terrified, like somebody might actually notice them, right? And that's always been interesting to me because you asked to be seen, right? Then the second eyes get on you, you get uncomfortable. But why are we like this as humans? I'm like this too as well. And people always make it about skill too. It's always either I'm not good enough or maybe I just need more time. I gotta improve first. And sometimes that's real, 100%. Yeah, sometimes that's real. Sometimes, but sometimes you just genuinely need reps. You need more experience because honestly, a lot of people aren't improving because they're hiding. They're in a cage, right? And that's different. It reminds me of Hinata Hyuga from Naruto. If you haven't watched Naruto in the year of 2026, there's a rock above your head. Just go ahead and lift your arms up. Throw that to the side. Cause come on now, it's 2026. It came out what? Early 2000s? You need to lock in manga or show, it don't matter. Anyways, going back to Hinata, she's basically somebody with real ability, you know, but she has no confidence whatsoever. She has no confidence in taking up any amount of space. Even though she trained as the best of them, she got one of the most potential early on in the show. But every time it's time to step forward, she shrinks herself a little. It's almost like she's apologizing for being visible. And honestly, I can get that. A lot of people can get that 100% because once people can see you, they can judge you. And that is where I believe real fear starts. Because failing privately, that's whatever. You mess up alone. You shoot a shot in an open gym and nobody is there. That's cool, right? You airball. That's whatever, man. You laugh about it. Nobody saw it. But failing in front of people, it's tournament time, game on the line. You're at the free throw line and you break. Even worse, you airball. Oh my God. Damn. You're definitely replaying it all week, right? You're definitely in the shower just soaking in all the water, just thinking about life, contemplating, you're driving somewhere just randomly thinking like, damn, bro, like why did I do that? Why did I say that? How did I perform like that? What am I doing? Right? I think that is real fear, but it's not failure. It's definitely not failure. In contrast to Hinata, right? We got Naruto, the main character, the yellowed hair delinquent, they say. And honestly, that is true. Like early Naruto was a mess. He was loud, he was doing too much, and we know the history on why, he was in that environment. If you were at the manga, go ahead and lock in if you haven't. But half the time watching him like, somebody please calm him down. Tell him to relax, chill, right? But one thing about him was he was not hiding. He was always in the presence of somebody else. He would embarrass himself in front of everybody, then come back the next day acting like nothing happened. And low key in the lowest of keys, that's a great gift. It might be an annoying gift to some, but who cares about them, right? It's still a great gift. Because eventually, people gotta notice you. They might not respect you at first, yet, they might not like what you're doing, but they see you. And I think that's what matters in the beginning. That's where people get confused. They think standing out is about being the best. It's about being the most talented, but it really isn't. A lot of times it's about being visible long enough for people to remember you by. I work corporate, corporate America, the great, the great dream that was the dream, right? And a lot of times you can do the best work, you can be the most efficient individual in your company, but if people don't see it, it's really empty stats for my sports people, but it's really just it's nothing. It means nothing to the company. It means nothing to the people around you because they can't see you. So it's always important to, know everybody. It's always important to make your presence known around the office. Just talk to everybody, even gloat sometimes, tell people what you did so people know the impact that you're providing. And it's quite a unpopular thing to do because it's not in most people nature to gloat like that, and people hate hearing that because it don't sound fair, right? But you got to look around honestly, like somebody right now who's not even crazy talented, who's not crazy skilled, but they're consistently outside with it. They're consistently posting, they're consistently trying, they're consistently talking, right? They can look awkward sometimes, but that's just the game. And somehow they keep on moving forward. Or they keep on swimming like Dory, or I don't know who the character was from, yeah, Nemo, right? Meanwhile, somebody else who got way more ability still got everything in the drives. The hard drive, the storage is taking up a lot of space. You gotta buy more storage with all the things that you got sitting in the drives, right? The hard drive is overheating for sure. Hard drive full, ideas full, your brain, you're getting headaches with all these ideas in your head, your notes app. You just gotta keep swiping to find the idea you written just yesterday, right? All them ideas, like bring them out, right? Whole archive of potential nobody sees. Bring those ideas out. Let me stop. But I'm not even saying that like I'm above it, right? I've done that a little bit, a lot of times, maybe, quite a few times. Okay, had ideas just sitting. I just had ideas sitting forever, not because they were trash per se. Some were trash, some were good, some were great. I just ain't want to be seen trying, right? I was in my nonchalant era, Mm. And that's a specific type of embarrassment because it's one thing to fail, but it's another thing for people to know you cared and still watch you fail anyways. It's embarrassing, right? But it will humble you fast. It will humble you fast. And that's also the entry fee. Unfortunately, the entry fee, right? That's the annoying part about it. Nobody wants to talk about it, but it's annoying. You don't become confident first. Confidence usually shows up after. And we see this all the time, right? Say you're in school, you have a presentation, you're a little bit nervous, you're a little bit scared because you're not used to this environment. But once you get out there, you might start off a little shaky. Your voice might be a little shaky. Ideas aren't popping up as fast as they can, but the more you present, the more you get more experience, the more the environment becomes more stable to you, right? And confidence sooner or later catches up to you. And that's really what this is. It's really not a talent problem. It's not a skill issue. It's a visibility problem, right? People don't want to be seen before they feel complete. But the thing is, nobody is complete. Yeah, everybody starts out awkward. We're all little ducklings who can barely walk. We're just waddling at this point. Even in regular life, you see this consistently. You see this constantly. You got something to say in a meeting, but you're hesitant, right? And then some dolt, somebody else who basically says the same thing but worse, gets all the praise from everybody else because they said it. And now you're just sitting there irritated, like, damn. Bro took my whole point, said it worse, and still got all the glory, you know? And it wasn't your moment because you ain't take it. Unfortunately, that was the case. And that truth hurts a little bit, right? And it's the same thing with content. Honestly, people keep saying, I'm waiting till it's better, right? But better how? Better camera. Like we all got iPhones. Come on now. Better lighting. We got outside, we got windows, we got great lighting. Unless you're in the dark continent in Hunter x Hunter, I don't know. You're always going to be able to find good lighting. Better ideas. You got your phone got your storage is up there. That's all I'm saying. At some point, you got to be honest, right? You're not waiting for better, right? You're waiting for it to be safe. And safe usually means invisibility, right? And that's why standing out feels uncomfortable. Because once you stop hiding behind this wall, this great wall of potential, now it gets real. Now it's game time. Damn, I'm stuttering. It's time to showcase what you got, right? Now people can judge it. They can misunderstand it. They can laugh at it. They can make jokes, which is cool. It's all part of the deal. But the other side is that people can connect to it now. They can remember you now. They can see themselves through it now, whatever source of medium you're making, right? And none of that happens while you're still hiding, while you're still at the crib, right? So when somebody says they don't stand out, I always wonder, do you actually not stand out? You know? Or have you just been making sure nobody sees you enough to notice? Because those are not the same things at all, in my opinion. And honestly, that's probably the real question. Not, am I good enough yet? It's more like, where am I scared to be seen trying, right? Because it's probably right there.